The years keep on coming. Today, I'm gonna give you 3 very easy tiny tweaks to hit your driver further to help combat father time. First tip, the way too many people are setting up to the ball, and I reckon you're the same, the hands are just way too low as we're addressing it. The toe is very high up. And you think, well, why is that a problem? Because what it does, almost on accident, it tends to lock up our bodies. And already, as we're getting a bit older, our mobility, our movement starts to get a bit more limited. I'm going to exaggerate, but the more we're lower here, we kind of get in our own way. It gets harder to turn back and through when we've got the hands a lot lower. We get in our own way, which is going to hurt speed, and it's going to feel like you have to hit the ball a lot harder or try harder to get the same result. So all we need to do is basically, I want you to feel like your hands, your arms are higher at setup. It's almost going to feel like you're producing pretty much a straight line from the arm all the way to the club. I don't need it to be exactly a straight line, but I want you to intentionally check to see if your wrists are kind of having a little bit of this movement. If you're still having a little bit of difficulty having that aha kind of feel, grab a club or an alignment stick or whatever. We're going to take our golf stance and I'm going to place the club just across the thighs, just above the knees here. And what I'm going to do is apply pressure to the club to rotate around. So I'm making sure that I'm getting a full sort of pivot with my lower body. I'm working on this pattern of movement. And I wager for many of you, just that alone, okay, having that rotation, that alone is going to feel very different because most of you will either be restricting the trail knee and maybe letting the left knee sort of come up a little bit, but there is no rotation happening. And we need this rotation because we do not want to have separation. This is a really key factor, to not think that you have to be separating the lower body with the upper body. That X factor nonsense. By doing that, you're putting strain on your spine, you're damaging muscles, and it is not a natural movement. As I said, when we do the look behind, all of this, my backside, my pelvis, my lower back, my legs, they're working as a unit. And that is what's going to give harmony and fluid swings without putting strain on the body, which is how we're going to keep playing this stupid game for many years to come. So I want you to try this. Grab the club and work on your pivot. You just have to notice a couple of things here. I'm allowing my core to wind up, to move around. I'm not just turning the shoulders. That's why it's important, and I have a popular lesson and several of them that talk about don't turn the shoulders, and that's what I mean. They're going to turn, but I don't want you to try and turn just the shoulders because that's how we all get messed up. So I want you to focus more on allowing the legs and the hips and the pelvis to move behind, and just keep rehearsing this nice and slowly. But here's one of the keys. You need to make sure that you're staying centered, that your head is not moving too much this way, and we're not moving too much this way. We want to stay balanced and centered and allow rotation. Now, I'm going to give you one more very, very crucial key. If we have the ball too far forward, it's going to create more effort to try and find that golf ball with our bodies. If we try and just use our arms, we often end up hanging back a little bit too much here. But again, these are not just individual tips, they work with each other. So this will make more sense when we get to the third tip. But we're going to have the ball further back. And everyone sort of looks at where it is in relation to the feet. I want you to, for a moment, just kind of forget about the feet. I want you to look about where it is in relation to the one constant is where your body is in relation to you, your chest here. A lot of you will have the ball too far forward in front of the left or leading chest here, right? What I want you to definitely feel at the bare minimum is the left chest or the center of the chest is more over the ball. That's going to help us encourage an into out path and that magical release that I'm going to show you shortly. It's going to not work without these two things. So just keep it in mind before you go off and try this. But have the ball a lot more centered and feel like your setup is braced around the center of your chest a little bit more, okay? Believe it or not, many of your challenges in your swing where you have restrictions, where you can't get that nice fluid swing, starts from your setup. And this is what I mean. And actually we have a video talking about posture and using a wall to calibrate your posture, but I'll just touch on it very quickly. If you have the traditional golf setup where we've got the hips, we're flexing at the hips this way, a little flex in the knees, and we're there. You think that looks great, superb. Try and move your legs the same as what we've been talking about, or from here, try and look behind, keeping your backside sticking out. That hurts. I mean, not hurts, but it feels tight. I feel restrictions. So what's going to happen in the real world if I'm playing golf like this, I'm going to, because I know I can't just stop my swing here, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to just add some more flexion this way, or I'm just going to allow those arms to run off. So those faults that we talked earlier often stem from having a golf posture that is not athletic, it is not agile. So all you need to do is feel like you're standing a little bit taller, but instead of flexing at the hips to get down to the ball, I want you to feel that you're actually flexing from the upper back, allowing it just to curve this way and a lot more neutral in the pelvis. And just by doing that, I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit, but by doing that, I'm going to do the same action with my legs and I can make a much freer swing. I can do a backswing pivot that is so much easier. There is no strain on my body. And that slight modification from the pelvis and not being locked in. And that's why you think you have to have super mobility, because doing the traditional way and the way the young guns do and the tour players do, they can work on mobility. They can stretch the body out this way. Not always for particularly long or very reliably, but we don't want that. We want to play golf for many, many years to come, and we want it to feel less strain on our body and to produce better results. This is going to really make sense if you've ever played table tennis or tennis, racquetball, pickleball, whatever it might be. If you're doing a forehand, right, a forehand topspin, it's that kind of release. We're brushing the back of the ball. We're not flipping over like this, which is what happens a lot of times in golf. We're flipping the wrist like here. We end up trying to sort of give it a top spin, right? As if you're doing a nice top spin down the line. That sensation alone is actually much more like the release you want, because it's giving all the energy that we need with that extra sort of whip to facilitate and get the most out of the setup modifications that we've made. So even if you haven't played any of those racket sports, what I want you to feel is that this right hand, and you can even hold a club like this, as we're doing that right hand, it's always staying a little bit back here. This release is going to start to feel a lot more effortless. So just do some rehearsals where we're almost keeping the body passive and releasing under the arm this way. You can sort of hold the club up like so and release underneath and get through there. It's that feeling. So what we do to piece all of this together is every single step with that final release. So we raise the hands higher, move the ball back, slide the trail foot back, and now we just put it together with that release. Nice loopy high draw, zero effort. Thanks for watching. Now, if you want to hit more greens, want to strike your irons better, check out this lesson. I'll see you next time.